Hello folks, I haven't made any content for a few days, so I figured I'd get on here and chat for a few minutes while I do one of my little things I have to do periodically. This Kentucky Legend turkey, sliced turkey, this size normally sells for about $17 or $18, right? But anyway, they had it, I guess it's on sale, they had it for $10.96. So I was like, well, I can't turn that down. The thing about turkey, this kind of fresh sliced turkey, so it's only really good when you first open it. After that, like after the second day, I don't know, it kind of has a less fresh taste to it. It's kind of, I can't describe it. How do I describe less fresh? And then the third day definitely doesn't taste the same. I mean, there is a distinct difference, and I thought it was just my imagination, but I was talking to my cousin and she was like, yeah, I feel exactly the same way, and that's the reason I don't buy turkey like this. Well, I happen to have this machine, a vacuum sealer, and so what I do is I put a few pieces in a bag, and then I put them in the freezer, and then I can just thaw it out whenever I want to make a sandwich. So that's what I'll do right now while I'm chatting with you. I want to get this thing open, but I don't want to destroy it at the same time. It just seems like lately they package everything so tight, and you know, it's kind of hard to get into it sometimes. All right, come on, Mr. Turkey. See all that turkey coming out? Now, doesn't that look good? Well, it certainly is good. And Rocket over here, well, you can't see him, but he's over to my right. He's just dying for me to give him some. So I've got to taste one. This is one of the outer pieces, so it has kind of almost a kind of a crust on it. Oh, it's so good. It's got the perfect amount of like salt in it and seasoning. All right, I don't want to be sitting on here eating and subject you to all my eating sounds, but anyway, while I was doing this, I thought I'd chat with you for a few minutes. So I got this new watch. I got this smartwatch, and you see it kind of, it's on, but it'll turn itself off in a second. I was not expecting that. You know, I'm used to these watches that kind of stay on all the time. And also, something I discovered by accident is that, oh boy, you can change the face of it. Like, for example, this face right here has my heartbeat. Isn't that the wildest thing you've ever seen? And then lastly, my favorite face would be this one. It shows outer space. So anyway, the thing about this smartwatch is that, you know, they say, you know, in the features that it interacts with your phone. You connect it via Bluetooth to your phone, and it, you know, it gets the time and the date and everything through the Bluetooth. And it says you can do things like even place calls, you can read text messages, kind of like an Apple Watch or something, but not overpriced like an Apple Watch. So I don't want any of that stuff. I know I'm starting to sound old by saying that, but I just want to be able to have a watch to look at. So I read some of the reviews on it, and the reviews said, oh, it's very simple to set up, you know. So I get it, and heaven forbid I read the instructions. I turn on the Bluetooth, and it every time it tries to connect to the watch, it says, you know, some kind of error. It says error connecting. It says, you know, please reboot your phone. Well, I've rebooted please reboot your watch. So I've rebooted my watch, and I couldn't ever get it to connect. So the time and date is not right on it, and that is so frustrating. So anyway, put that aside for just one second. So yesterday I had to go to a doctor's appointment, just routine. I have to go every 6 months or so. And my doctor was not in. They said he came up with some kind of a family emergency. And they said, would you be willing to see the PA? The PA is the physician's assistant that usually works with the doctor. I usually say no to that. But given this situation, I wanted to just go ahead and get it over with, because I don't want any doctor's visits the rest of the year past April. So anyway, I've never met this PA, so I don't know anything about him. And the lady on the phone says, oh, he's really nice, he's really good. So he came in there, and I'm sitting there playing with this watch, trying to get the watch to work. And I swear to you, he looks like he's 18. He could pass for 16. He came in and I was like, oh my God. And does this mean I'm getting old? That's what's going through my mind. And then he brought a girl in with him and says, I'm Dr. So-and-so. And he says, and this is Dr. So-and-so, and she's just shadowing me today. And she looked like she was like 17. I really wish I could have taken pictures, because you would agree with me if you'd seen the picture. I'm not exaggerating. You would agree with me. And I was like, oh my God, I'm finally getting old where everybody looks like so young to me. So what I've done in the past is whenever I had like some new technology, let's say a new watch, I would just find a young person and say, here, can you just fix this for me? And I was so tempted just to say, hey, can you just fix this watch for me? But I figured he would be insulted. But I can just tell you, he probably could have fixed it in like 2 seconds. I may have said this before in one of my travel videos, but I've had issues before. I think one time I had an issue where my GPS started speaking in another language. I don't know, I pressed the wrong button or something, and it was a weird language. It was like Thai or something. Like I couldn't figure out any of what it was saying. And I was getting really frustrated, So I stopped at this truck stop, and I got out and, I pretended I was walking my dog while I was really casing the joint to find a young person. So I walked by this truck and I saw this young guy, Eastern European, and, he happened to have his window down. See, that's an invitation. So I handed him my phone. I said, I explained what the problem was. I said, can you fix it? And I swear to you, he fixed it in like 10 seconds. Okay. And he said he had never even seen that setting before. But he fixed it in like 10 seconds. And I had been playing with it for like a half hour, and I could not figure out how to get that changed. I guess the menu option for whatever it is to change it wasn't what I expected it to be. So I said, here, can you just show me how to do that? And he did it real quick. Da, 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 da. I was like, okay, well, I'm not going to remember that. So anyway, that's that. But anyway, I've got to give Rocket something so he'll go away. So I'm going to have next to the last piece. It's so good. You need to go try this brand. It's got just the right amount of salt and seasonings in it. So flavorful. I've got to give this one to him. All right, now go on now. What I did while we were talking is I put all these in bags, and I don't want to subject you to listening to the sound of that vacuum seal machine going burp. So when I stop this tape, I will vacuum seal them. All right, so I want to tell you that about the watch. And then the other thing I want to tell you is I got this new thing. I'm always getting these new play toys. It's a baby camera, okay? And it comes with this little screen here. And they both will run off of USB, of course, but you can also plug them into the wall. But so I got this because I'm doing preparations for my trip that'll happen in June, and I want to have a way to have him ride in the trailer that I'm pulling and not ride in the front cab with me, because he's just not good. He's not good for riding in the cab. you know, if I were to be stopped by a policeman, highway patrolman, you know, they always go to the right window instead of the left, and he would just growl and be vicious and, you know, I can't get him to stop. So he's kind of uncontrollable in those situations, and that'll just wind up getting me into trouble. So I'm just gonna let him ride in the back. So I needed a way to watch him, to be sure he wasn't distressed or whatever. So I'm gonna have that, and you know, I can just watch him the whole time from the cab. I'm just gonna start off easy. You know, I'll give him like 30 minutes, and then I'll stop the trailer and talk to him, give him like an hour, stop the trailer, and then, you know, just do like that until he gets really used to it. I'm gonna give him a nice big bed and everything. So I have another thing I've got to show you too, but it's actually outside in the trailer, and I'm gonna not do that right now. I need to do this pressure sealing for right now, but just wanted to tell you that thing about the watch. Say bye, Rocket. I don't know if you probably can't see him. Say bye.